Okay, can everybody see my screen? I'm going to take that as a yes. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, I was just making the joke for you guys when I first saw the PowerPoint that I had for this. It was the first franchise, first real estate company I ever partnered with. I owned a Better Homes Realty franchise, and I'm like, well, this has to be old because that franchise lost the people I bought it from lost their ability to franchise in New Jersey in about 2015. But the good news is that because I was like, guys, I must have updated. I found the updated one, and now we call it 21st Century Farming. And today we're beginning the real estate farming series. So for those of you that have been with us from the beginning, of course, you took your business planning success. We did our prospecting. We taught you how to do a listing conversation. Then we taught you how to work with buyers. Now we're moving a little bit more into secondary, but very important things to do. In other words, what's the most important part of your day? It is still working your way through the prospecting for success trainings. Calling your for sale by owners, calling your expired listings, calling your, what there she is. Okay. Well, calling your sphere of influence, which should be, once you get that built, should be about half your business. But as you move forward in real estate, another part as you start to make money is farming. I know some agents that have been in this business now for 8, 10, 12, 20, 30, even longer years. And farming has become basically they do two things. They work their sphere of influence and they work their farm. And you say, well, do you still do for sale by owners? Do you still do expired listings? And a lot of them will say no, because I have enough referral business because I've kept in touch with those people and added in my sphere of influence. And I've been farming the same neighborhood or neighborhoods for X number of years that I have more than enough business. I'm making a very comfortable six-figure income that I'm happy with. So yeah, I don't do some of the stuff that that a new agent and which pretty much everybody that's taking Step Ahead boot camp should be doing. And again, this is secondary. Right now, you want to be calling those for sale by owners. You want to be calling those expired listings. I can't pound that home hard enough. Building and staying in touch with your sphere of influence. But what we're gonna introduce today, and what we're gonna do over the next 3-4 weeks, I think it's 4 weeks. We have 4 of these classes. We're going to go through how to build your farm, and you can start building a farm now, even with little or no money. We can help you do this, and we're going to give you ways to do this. And we're going to talk about different types of farming. We're going to talk about the traditional farming, which is you picking a neighborhood, this, that, whatever. But we're also going to talk about digital farming and how to do those things. Throughout these courses, I'm going to teach you how to do some activities that are very low cost but high reward. One of which is hosting a neighborhood yard sale. Sounds easy, sounds kind of ridiculous. I have not hosted a neighborhood yard sale in the neighborhood I lived in New Jersey since 2015 or 2016. It was one of those 2 years. So at this point, it's been 10 or 11 years. Do you know I still get phone calls, texts, Facebook messages? Hey, are you running a yard sale this weekend? Do you know that I got 4, 5, 6 listings just from running a couple of years of those yard sales? And do you know that those yard sales, anybody have a guess how much they cost me? Some of you guys, you might know this because I think you've been in the trainings before. Yeah. So I'll tell you to pipe down. But how much do you think it cost me to run one of those yard sales? First time. It's cheaper after.
I honestly don't remember. So
$50.
$65.
Oh, okay.
You know what most of the expense was? Creating yard signs that I could use over and over and over that said Equestrian Estates yard sale this Saturday.
Right.
8 to 12 or whatever, with the arrows going into all the different spots of the neighborhood. That was the most expensive part. The rest of it, and again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but the rest of it, we created maps and this, that, and whatever. We used company copy machines.
Oh, okay.
So these are the types of things we're going to do over the next 4 weeks. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Daryl Davis, you guys hear me quote him from time to time. I highly recommend for anybody that would be interested, become a power agent. I subscribe to being a power agent for him for years just because he's got such great information. I still get the free training. I still get the trainings from him. If you ever want to join me, you can jump on those trainings. Anyway, Daryl Davis made this comment: farming and real estate, like agriculture, is an art. It's about planting seeds, cultivating leads, and seeing what will develop. The key, of course, is to consistently nourish your real estate farm with mailings and events. Now, he said this 15 years ago, maybe. Mailings, we're going to talk about because I'm going to give you ways that are not so expensive as doing mailings to get in touch with people. The last thing I want to say, though, that was part of my intro that I skipped here is you may be sitting there saying, well, I'm kind of new. Let me get a couple sales and whatever, this, that, whatever, under my belt before I think about this. I really want you to think about this now and get started with it because it takes time. And Daryl's thing about nourishing brought this back to my thoughts. It takes time to put a farm together to actually get business. In other words, if you went out right now, well, I'll use my yard as an example. Everybody heard me talk about it because of the freeze. I've got citrus trees. I've got 12 citrus trees in my yard. I planted them at this point 5-6 years ago. Of the 12, my key lime tree has hundreds of limes, and my vanilla ice cream banana tree, whatever the heck they're called, blue bananas, ice cream bananas, are the only two of those 12 trees. I take that back. I got 3 oranges this year from one of my orange trees. That's 6 years. If you go plant a tree right now or plant a plant, do you expect it to have stuff right away? The answer is no. It's the same thing here. It can take you a year, year and a half, 2 years. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make in farming, first of all, I'm kind of getting off topic, but this is important too, is they don't see it through. When you start farming, you need to see it through month in, month out, month in, month out, month in, month out, and not expect any results for at least a year. Just like I don't expect, my mango tree, I'm hoping next year, right? It's the same principle. It takes time and it takes consistent fertilizing and everything like that. Yeah. So what is farming? Farming is marketing yourself on a consistent basis to a group of people you don't know or that don't know you. So your target population are complete strangers. Now I say complete. They don't have to be absolutely complete strangers. One of the best places that you can market if it works for you is your neighborhood. Why? People see you in your neighborhood. Now, here's the problem. If you're a renter, probably not the place, it's not the place you want to market, right? So if you rent, not the place you want to market. My neighborhood, I don't want to market my neighborhood. I just found out that I have another realtor now living in my neighborhood. I had a friend call me and ironically wants to buy a house next door to a house that I sold my other friend. What are the chances, right? She calls me from New Jersey randomly, is looking at a house that's literally the next door neighbor of a guy that I sold a house to in June. Crazy, right? Anyway, that happened. That just happened. Well, the listing agent is my neighbor who had my house listed. I don't farm my neighborhood, number one, a little bit out of respect for her, but more so because her husband is a pilot. I live in an airplane community. She knows everything about having a hangar in your yard. If somebody says to me, hey, can I get I don't even know what to give you as an example. Can I put a 50-foot plane in this hangar? Yeah. I don't even know if 50 foot is the life of a plane. You know what I mean? If it was a dock, I could tell you what size boat you could get, but I'm not an expert. So there are things that make it so that your neighborhood may not be the right fit. But if it is the right fit, it's the best place to market because people see you, know you, and there's nothing better. And you'll see my letters that I sent out. You've probably seen them in other classes where I give you the example where it says, nobody knows your neighborhood quite like a neighbor, right? I live here. You're trying to tell me that some guy from down wherever is going to be able to sell your house better than me that actually is your neighbor, and it helps you sell that way. So you want to pick out, it doesn't have to be absolute, like some of your neighbors may know you, but most of your neighborhood probably is not going to know you. I mean, how many people know everybody in their neighborhood? So your farming in your neighborhood is a great thing. If it's not going to be your neighborhood, find a place that's close. I farm the neighborhood directly across from mine when I do it, whatever. I do it usually when I teach you guys and I do some stuff and whatever. And from that, I've had 5 sales in that neighborhood. And another one that's ironic, there were 3 houses on a block. I sold 2 of the 3. Crazy, right? So frequency and purpose. So now that you've defined where you want to farm, and I can help you guys with that. We can do that in a breakout session on a Tuesday. We can do it tomorrow. I know you're not going to be here tomorrow, but we can do it separately too. Figure out where you want to farm. But once you figure out who you want to farm, the real key is to contact the people once a month. The object is for the target, when they think of real estate, to think of you. The old coming to America joke, when you think of garbage, think of a king. You've heard me say that. Same thing here. When somebody hears the word real estate, I want a picture of you to jump into their head. The bottom line is you're branding yourself through farming. When I first got into this business in 12 years ago now, maybe a little more, there were ads I used to use, and the agents knew what I was talking about. These days, people don't use slogans as much anymore. But there used to be an ad, "You deserve a break today," and it was at where? Anybody remember? Can sing the song. You deserve a break today.
No, yeah.
At McDonald's, and that was their ad. Or have it your way.
Yeah.
At Burger King now, right? This is all before you were born. I'm sorry. But the point is, for me, 35 years later, after hearing those ads, I still can sing the damn song, right? What's the point? The point is they branded themselves,
Right.
And make you think of it. This is what I want to get in your head. The other one nobody remembers. When this person talks, people listen. You guys don't remember E.F. Hutton, do you? So I don't know who's on Zoom and on YouTube. Maybe I'll get some older people on there that remember those old ads. But the point is that that type of advertising worked because those brands, they glued it in your head. That's what you're trying to do as a realtor. Is you want somebody 30 years from now to remember some crazy one. And I'm going to give you a quick example. My buddy Johnny, you'll hear me talk about him in a couple of the trainings here. John decided to do a niche. He was going to do townhomes and condos because we had a lot of them right near our office. I was in a casino town, so a lot of dealers and stuff like that, card dealers, not drug dealers. People are like, hey, you say dealers, what? Card dealers and stuff like that, and bartenders, cocktail waitresses. Their lifestyle was good to own a condo or a townhome. They never knew when they'd go back out to Vegas or to Reno, so it was a reason to come and sell. So he said, let me get into this niche. So he named himself the Condo King. His cards, all his pictures, he put a crown on his head.
Yeah.
Looked like a complete idiot. It was perfect. Who's going to forget the Condo King?
Right.
Yeah.
Who's going to forget the Condo King?
Right.
And it worked for him. It worked for him. I got a nice text from a realtor that works for me that trying to come here. He's out lives out in Meadow Point, out near you. And we put the label on him, Get Rich in Real Estate. His name's Rich Simonetti. He may be on this training right now. He sometimes jumps on these. Right, Get Rich in Real Estate. You're going to remember that, okay? That's what you're trying to do by branding yourself through farming, is to get people to be introduced to who you are and then to think about you when they think of real estate.
Yeah.
If you were in South Jersey and thought about buying or selling a condo, who would you think of? The idiot with the crown on his head, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing you need to do is come up with some type of thought and gimmick and whatever. And not everybody can do that, does it as well as others, and that's fine, but come up with something and have yourself consistent. But then the second thing is you need to bombard the people. So what traditional real estate coaches teach is that you should just start sending mailing pieces once a month.
Yeah.
And that's why they tell you it can take 12 to 18 months. I'm going to argue with you that I can help you most people that follow my farming will get something from their farms usually within 6 to 9 months. Can't guarantee anything, just like
Right.
can't even guarantee 18 months. And here's why. If I start sending to your house in your neighborhoods right now, you start going to your mailbox, and once a month, you get a just listed, just sold postcard or free market evaluation postcard or whatever else, are you going to pay any attention to that? It's going to take you probably 5, 6 times like, oh, this freaking guy's mailing me again. And by the way, anytime you've ever done that, I'm getting another thing from them. That's a marketer doing their job.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden, guess what? You've got a conscious whatever, but it's going to take you 5, 6 times every month before and not everybody's even going to get it then. It might take them 12 months or 18 months. So what I'm going to teach you guys to speed this up is bombard them with your personal brand on a regular, consistent basis, but do it with things that they're going to see. My argument, going back to the letter we just talked about, is the first thing that you should do. You can mail these if you want. I prefer you go and hand them out, is introduction letters.
Right.
And I've got a sample introduction letter for all you guys in the breakout sessions that you're going to say just what I just said. I'm a proud resident of whatever the name of the neighborhood is. Nobody knows your neighborhood like a neighbor. When it's more of a personal letter, I mean, it's a form letter, but it's more of a personal, like it looks like a letter with your picture on it and with everything else. People are going to be way more apt to read that than a postcard. So you're going to cement yourself early. We talked about anchoring technique, the first or second training we ever did together. You're going to anchor yourself quicker by having something that they're actually going to look at like that. And the other reason I like you to go drop them off is you're not going to put it in their mailbox where they're going through 20 other things that are just going trash. You're going to put it in their door or hand it to them. And it's going to be the only thing in their hand. Even if it's for 30 seconds and they just glimpse at it, they're at least going to see your picture, see your name, see your face.
Yeah, I just got a advertisement over the weekend on the HOA letter.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, HOA
Mm-hmm.
monthly, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
So
newsletter.
the backside is the 2 realtors that are teamed up or whatever, and they show up every month on the back of that letter.
Because they're farming that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Again, I already really said this, but just a quick reminder, farming is designed to produce future business. New agents need to wisely decide when to begin farming. I'm going to teach you guys stuff that's either free or as close to free as possible for your first bunch of months, so that the only thing I really want you investing is time.
Right.
After you get a sale or two, have at it, Haas. Go send the mailers out and go do those types of things. Or if you're in a position, I had 2 agents. We have one of them. She actually works here. She's pretty good friends with Becky. Worked for me for a long time. She's got no urgency and plenty of money because she's got a husband that supports her.
Yeah.
But she wants to build her business. So for her to come in and say, "Yeah, I don't want to go walk the neighborhood. I'd rather just mail something," no big deal. She just writes a check or pops a credit card because she's got it. But for most people that are in this business, we need stuff that's going to give us a high ROI without a lot of costs out of pocket.
Yep.
Do understand that it can take 12 months for farming to work. I'm going to give you some cheat sheet things like the letter that we just talked about and doing some community things that can speed this up dramatically if you do it right. But the most important part to remember, and it's not on this slide, it was on the last slide, but I'm saying it again because it's that important. If you decide to do this, you need to be fully committed, right?
Yeah.
You need to be fully committed and make sure that you have something happening every month. And we're going to talk about reinforcing that message, which again is going to speed this up. We'll talk about that either today or next week or whatever. So how do you farm? First thing you need to do is come up with a minimum of 500 addresses. Pick a neighborhood. Pick your neighborhood. You can find out how many addresses are in there. A lot of times these days, what I'm teaching people is to actually do a farm. You may farm your neighborhood, and that'd be your official where you go, but do the entire mail carrier route, because you'll be able to mail to 600 or 700 people, depending on how many people are in that carrier route, cheaper than the 400 that are in there, because it's just that much cheaper. We talked about amplified mail a couple of weeks ago, and we'll go through that again. Understand this is a power of numbers game. They'll tell you that, the average person moves every 5 years, this, that, whatever. Whether that's really true or not, that's what the NAR will tell you. If you're shooting to 500 people, you should always be hitting someone that's thinking about moving. Understand, just because you farm a neighborhood doesn't mean they're going to use you. They might have a spouse that's in this. They might have a cousin, they might have a friend, they might have there's a million different stories. Somebody that goes to church with them, somebody that goes to baseball game. There's their kid's friend's mother. There's a billion different ways. But the point is that you're playing a power numbers game, and sooner or later there's going to be somebody that says, "Oh, I need a realtor, and this is my local realtor," and they're going to start using you. So again, minimum 500 addresses. Number two, pick a demographic. I already told the story about John and the Condo King. 55 and over is one that I don't even understand, that I've never had an agent in Florida that has said, I want to do 55 and over, but I've never have. I've had hundreds of realtors work with me in Florida. None of them have ever specialized in 55 and over. Or maybe old people are a pain in the ass. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? Kidding. No, I don't know what it is, but they've I haven't had that. But pick a demographic. Now, maybe for you, it's nothing like that. Maybe you just want to be general, and that's fine. But just pick what you want. Also, pick at something that's either close to you or close to your office. For most people, it's picking their neighborhood or a neighborhood that's real close. Because here's what I want you to think about. Okay, our office is 5 minutes from really expensive houses in Palm Harbor and Clearwater, right? You probably pass them on your way in. Some of those nice neighborhoods off of like McMillan Booth and stuff like that. The ones right over here are 800, 900,000 and up. And you say, man, I want to do those. And they're awesome. Yeah, they're beautiful. Okay. So you come in here, you're working. Now you just went home. It's 4:30. Hey, can you show me a house? Blah, 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 blah at 6 o'clock. Do you want to trek all the way back over here?
Right.
You're in your pajamas, right? You got the point. If I say to you, I want to go see a house that's around the corner from you, no big deal. No big deal. No big deal. So is the other going to happen to you? The worst story, I was just with her on Saturday at the theater when you called me. But friends of mine, people from New Jersey, relatives from New Jersey, called me at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, just as I got on my boat in St. Petersburg.
Of course.
And a house in Spring Hill.
That always happens.
And guess what? I had to go up. Because that was when houses were going overnight. And I was here. I was in St. Pete on my boat, downtown St. Pete, and I had to go up to Spring Hill. For you guys that are maybe not from here, it's an hour and a half. Probably more in rush hour, especially taking 19. So I had to get off the boat, make myself look presentable, which I just come in from work, so I was fine with that. But had I gotten changed into just hang out on the boat clothes, I would have had to change, but I had to drive all the way up, hour and a half. And again, that wasn't because I was farming, that's because I was helping somebody from New Jersey move here, right? I want to limit that as best as I possibly can. And one of the ways I can do that is by farming something that's going to be very convenient. Ask yourself before you start farming, if I get a call from that farm at 5:30 at night, right after I was just finishing my day, and someone wants to see something tonight, how big of an imposition is going to be? That's the easiest way to summarize this bullet. Find a neighborhood where nobody in your office is farming. More so, try to find a neighborhood that's not oversaturated with people farming it. Right. Your neighborhood, okay, they're sponsoring the HOA. There's 2 there. They're probably going to have the heads up on you, but who else is farming it? How many houses are they doing? And you can do that by going into the MLS. Go and look at the last 12 months and see if there's people that have been multiply sold in neighborhoods. I did that with someone in here not too long ago. We sat down, we grabbed the neighborhood, we popped it up on the MLS, and what we found was that there were 3 agents that we figured were farming that neighborhood. It's a huge neighborhood, 3 people, 3, it sounds like a lot, it's not a lot. Because people will, they'll gravitate to you for whatever reason. Maybe they heard something bad about that, so having listen, if you go into a town, how many different pizzerias are there? Right? Right. Why is there not only one? Because you know what? I hate their pizza. I love their pizza. Right. So if you go into a place and you realize that people just have the monopoly on it, there's like 5, 6 people. Okay, don't farm that. And I'll help you guys with that too as you pick a neighborhood to determine those types of things. Set a budget. This is completely wrong, even though, oh, see, it still says 2014. I updated this, but I didn't update this slide. 500 mailings nowadays are going to cost you probably closer to $300. They were 200 a year ago. If you do the every door direct mail, that's probably a little bit closer to whatever. But you ask yourself, how much money can I put aside each month? And you don't have to mail right away. Okay. So maybe you say for the first year, I'm going to put $100 aside a month to farm, $50 aside a month to farm. Make it something that's attainable to you in the situation you're in right now. But make it something that you can stick to for 12 months and have communication every 30 days. Here's one thing I can tell you. If you are willing to do a little bit of elbow grease, you can create the welcome letter we talked about, print it here, and you know what it costs you? Zero. You got it. Nothing. If you decide, hey, I want to supplement and use door hangers. Door hangers right now, weren't you and I just talking about door hangers?
Yeah.
Door hangers are 8 or 9 cents each if you buy 1,000 of them on Vistaprint, right? So let's just call it $80,
yeah.
Right? So $80, I got 1,000 of them. You can use them twice if you have 500. You know, again, it depends how many are in your farm. But the point is that there are so many different things that you can do on a low budget. And again, so find the number that you find is right for you and that you can sustain to do every month for 12 months. So what are traditional methods of farming? Direct mail. We already talked about this. What types of direct mail things would you do in an agenda? You know, just listed, just sold postcards. When I got into this business, I'm like, dude, 1980 called, shut up. And like, that can't work. Like that, it's such a ridiculous thing. And you see them everywhere. And my buddy Paulie, when I went into the ERA franchise, when I merged in my franchise in my offices into the ERA franchise, he was a marketing major at Rutgers, so he knew his stuff and whatever. He said, Billy, you can laugh and scoff and this and that. He said, they work. He goes, I wouldn't mail them if they don't work. And I measure everything that I do, this, that, whatever. And here's the truth. People are interested in what the value of their house is. He always says, do people care what the average price per house is in a state? Not really. Do they care in a county? He goes, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. Right. And that's where he keeps breaking it down. Do you care in your neighborhood? He goes, okay, now they listen a little bit closer. But he says, at the end of the day, on your street, even more close. But at the end of the day, what do they care about? The only thing they care about is what's my house worth? What's my house worth? Right, exactly. And so if something is just listed or just sold in a neighborhood, they're going to look at it because they want to know what their house is worth. Market reports. I have a friend worked for years, Lisa, does these beautiful market reports twice a year. Now she pays a lot of money for them, but she also makes a lot. You know, she's a top agent, so she can afford to. But we can do things even on paper that you could carry around that tell people what's going on in the neighborhood. And do a one-page sheet that we print out.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Free market evaluation mailers or invitations, door hangers, whatever. Door knocking, here it is, door hangers. Letters cost you nothing. And then community outreach contacts. There are so many different community outreach things. And I believe it's either this week or next week, I'm going to give you a list of many of them. But let me just give you a couple. I already mentioned the neighborhood yard sale. Okay. How about best carved pumpkin for Halloween? How about best, you have everybody come with their kids, best costumes, and have a thing for that. How about an Easter egg hunt? How about a food drive for Christmas or for Thanksgiving? How about a toy drive for Christmas? Yeah, but what are you going to do for Valentine's Day? You can't. That's not real. Valentine's Day. You could. I have an example for Valentine's Day where they hand out hearts. So there's things that you can do. But I'm talking about community outreach things. Community, that's a separate type of thing. But you can do all of those different things to get and whatever, and all of those things, guess what? Your branding is being popped in their face. Oh my God, my kid just won the best outfit in my neighborhood. My kid came in second, my kid came in third. And guess what? It's Eureka's,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So what do you mail if you're doing direct mail? First of all, I already went through this, but here it is again, that letter of introduction. Guys, just sending a regular postcard, nobody knows who the heck you are. The first 6 to 12 are just going to end up in the trash without any name to face recognition. If you say they're your neighbor, again, is everybody going to read it? No. Is it good? Are more people going to read it and at least be familiar with you? Yes. So get off to a good start. And again, the letter of introduction, if you hand deliver them, you can mail them, but if you hand deliver them, guess what? It's free. What about a community newsletter? And this can be done mailed. You also should try to get email addresses and email these. So you do both. Get them in touch with what's going on in the area. And of course, you're going to put your social media on all of these. Postcards, recipe cards. Use your own recipes, or you can just pay for recipes. People keep those. You know, one of the best things I ever saw, I'm jumping ahead, I'll get back to it. Just listed, just sold. We talked about that. Community information. How about getting something that has things like emergency contacts and this, that, and whatever? Or people, you think people would save that? Of course they would. Because they want to know what's what and what's going on. Calendars and schedule magnets. I just got an email because I used to do them every year when I was in New Jersey. I would do Phillies baseball schedules.
Oh, yeah.
162 games. Guess where they go? Right on the refrigerator. It's a magnet.
That's a good idea.
Great staying power. We used to do football too. Problem with football is it's a shorter schedule.
Right. Cheaper magnet.
No, it wasn't.
No.
They were 85 cents a piece, any which sport you did.
Oh, I just figured because of the amount.
No, yeah. Well, you know what you do with football, which is especially being from New Jersey. I had the Eagles, the Giants, and the Jets, and then I would grab like whatever the rivalry teams were, because sometimes some places in New Jersey you didn't know what you were getting, and there were places in New Jersey where you got an Eagles fan here, you got a Giants fan there, and a Jets fan there. So it had all the games. The greatest magnet, which by the way is still in my refrigerator. Jennifer Lindner, who works for Century 21, old Century 21 I worked for. I was like, this is the most genius magnet I've ever seen. It has all of the measurements for cooking. How many ounces are in a cup? How many cups are in a gallon or whatever? All that crap. Think about that. It's stuff people ask all the time. When are you going to throw that magnet out? See, the baseball magnet, sooner or later when the season's over, unless you're a pack rat, it's expired. When does that ever expire?
It doesn't.
And you know what? I keep it on my fridge and I use it sometimes if I'm not using my friend Siri here. So think about those types of things. These are great direct mail or drop off. What can you hand deliver? Door hangers. Invitations to community events. I already mentioned the yard sale, and we have all the stuff to teach you how to do all of these different things. What about a wine tasting? What about a neighborhood barbecue where people all barbecue and they bring food out and set tables up and walk down the street and get to know their neighbors? Yeah, wine tasting if they have a community center. A happy hour at a local pub, Tuesday nights. Personalized marketing, anything that's personalized to you. And again, the breakout session that I'll give you guys when we're done is REM 101 is door knocking ideas. And you'll see I've got a ton of them on there for you. So now that you've done this is the other thing that nobody teaches in real estate, which is ridiculous, and will speed up your awareness. Follow up with phone calls after everything that you do. After you built your brand, maybe you've gotten in touch, whatever. Call your farm 2 to 4 times a year. I actually now teach 4 times a year. Make them part of your SOI. What's that? Mm-hmm. Let 3 to 5 of your marketing materials go out and then call them. Hey, I hope you got my stuff, blah, 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 whatever you just did. I said, I gave you an intro, this, that, whatever. Oh, yeah, I saw that. I threw it in the trash. Yeah, okay, whatever, but this is who I am. It will completely reinforce your marketing plan by making a follow-up call, even if you just get a voicemail. Even if they hit delete on the voicemail after 10 seconds into your voicemail, who cares? Because all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's the postcard. It'll start to connect who you are.
Seared into that brain.
Sear it in the brain. That's what you're trying to do. I also now you have another activity, farming scripts, which are things you can say when you call. We'll give that to you at the end. Community yard sales. I've told you how powerful this was for me. It's an inexpensive, gain rate name recognition and make you the preferred realtor in your farm. One of the things that we do is I created on Google Maps using my graphic design program, is I create a map, and everybody that registers gets their house on the map that they're a part of the yard sale. Now I print those with my picture, my stuff, my whatever on the front, on the top, right? We have hundreds of them. Give them to every house that's on there so they can hand them out. And then I walk up and down the street with business cards and these maps, thanking people for coming and saying, here's where all the yard sales are. It costs nothing. A couple hours of your time on a Saturday morning. Again, I got a breakout session to teach you how to do this. Community barbecues, wine tasting. See, I was a slide in front of myself. Cocktail hour. They're all great social ideas. So now that you've got kind of the basics of getting your plan together, and you want to pick something for each month, right? And work on it. And one of the things, by the way, let's say you're gonna do this. And let's just pretend we started in January. In January, you went and you did your intro letter, right?
Mm-hmm.
February, maybe you did a door hanger. Let's say you're planning on doing a yard sale in April. March, you go around with invitations to the yard sale. April, a reminder of when the yard sale is that week. These are all things you're handing out, and they're excuses for people to get to know who you are. So that's how you want to plan that. Digital farming. You should have a Facebook page. You should have a Facebook group. You should have Instagram, Twitter, which is now X. And you could target Facebook and Instagram ads to get your neighbors to join these pages and groups. Every piece of material on the past and the traditional marketing should have follow me at Gulf Palm Homes or whatever your name is. The more people that you can get on there, everything that you mail out, everything that you do, whatever, you're also going to post in your digital farm. Again, we talked about this in another training about the spokes of a bicycle wheel. And we'll talk about those in this training as well, in these trainings as well. It's called reinforced marketing. If I see something here and see something there, guess what? It's going to become a much stronger thing. Most realtors will only rely on just sending postcard. And even that weak effort works. Imagine if you're reinforcing all over the place. You're going to be down their throat so much that when they think of real estate in their neighborhood, they just saw you on Facebook, they just saw you on Instagram, they just got a mailer from you, they just got a voice message from you, right? And now you're running a yard sale there. You're top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Search engine advertising. So Facebook and search engine advertising are very powerful. Next week's session, we're going to teach you how to do both. That's what we do in 102, I believe. It's not 102, it's 103. So in the next 2 weeks. Your farm Facebook page and group. Create a page and a group just for the neighborhood that you farm. If you don't want to do a page, just do a group separate for what you want to do. So I talked about Rich. Rich has a group just for Meadow Point, which is where he farms. And he's got, I think I have to look. I don't want to say a number, but he's got a lot of people in there if I'm not mistaken. Mail or hand deliver invitations to join both the page and the group. Guys, you need another excuse to go around your neighborhood? Hey, join the community Facebook group. Everybody's going to do that because they're busybodies. They want to know what their neighbor's doing. You don't believe me? Today, oh, by the way, today is the 4th anniversary of my Facebook group in Newport Richey. We'll have to look at it before we're done. I may have hit 50,000.
Nice.
But if not, I'm at 49,900 people when I looked last night. So in 4 years, I've had 50,000 people get on there. Why?
It's pretty good average.
Because people are busybodies and they want to know what's going on in their town.
Yeah.
In a neighborhood, it's even more so. I should go on there and say, hey,
Mega post, yeah.
yeah, I'll make a little post about it. 4th year anniversary of our group. All right. So yeah, get people to join and then continue to promote all of it on all of your marketing materials. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on this, join our group, blah, blah, blah. Always, always, always your business cards. You should not have anything, any type of any material that doesn't have your on it. And I always like to put my Facebook group. In fact, on my business card has my Facebook groups separate. And the reason for that is that's where we know we're getting clients right now. And so, yeah, maybe you have more than one group. Decide. Maybe you have 2 different business cards. One that you give out to people that live in your neighborhood where you're farming, and one that has your whatever you decide to do. I've taught this before, but this is where I actually really teach this. We talk about this on Tuesdays in digital marketing all the time, but this is the actual lesson where I first introduced this. Pages are informational. It's about you telling. On a page, you want to add local news, events, business reviews, and sprinkle in your real estate information. You make your page a local resource for your farm. Daniel and I worked on this last week before when we got you on Publer.
Yeah.
And he has stuff now posting automatically. And how's it going?
It's going, yeah.
Good. As you add new,
there's, I don't know, 15, 20 posts.
see, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. And so as people will follow, they're going to know that his page has everything going on in the local area. Groups, on the other hand, which are, again, this is where we're getting the most clientele right now, are conversational. Once you get people going in a group, I always make the old Cheers joke, Norm had his seat at the bar. These people have turned this into the 21st century neighborhood bar. That's what these groups are. So I got people that are on these groups 15, 18 hours a day. They're checking it every time they pick up their phone. They're in my group and they take ownership. That is their group. This is my bar stool. That's what it's like. Honest to God, that's what it's like. And when you have those people, guess what? You can now build relationships with them. And even if they're not moving, they'll be like, well, the guy runs this group, blah, 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 blah. I have ones that are tattletales. Mm-hmm. I don't let other realtors on my Facebook groups. With 50,000 people, they're going to sneak in, right? Hey, Bill, a realtor, some Keller Williams guy just posted on your group. Oh, and you know what I say? Thank you very much. And I go and I delete and block the Keller Williams guy. Sorry if anybody out there works for Keller Williams, nothing personal, but that was the last one I got was a Keller Williams guy. But that person feels a connection to me because of my group. What's he care about? He's never met me before. No, we were connected because of the group. Then you'll hear, somebody will come on and ask about real estate before I get to it. Oh, you got to call Bill. He's the guy who runs this group. He knows everything going on. And you get it. That's what I want you guys to build and understand about groups. And of course, you're still going to share your local news, your reviews, your events, and your real estate info. One of the easy things you can do, this was not available when I wrote this, so you're going to have to just get this verbally. I don't have a bullet for it. But you can now create reoccurring posts in your Facebook groups. I like to do things that go out every 2 weeks. So I have something that goes out every day about my real estate mixed in with all the other crap that's on those groups. But it's only the same post every 2 weeks. So it doesn't seem like I'm just spamming the hell out of it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I have different, whatever, and they all lead to my website calling me, it's free market evaluation, free resources if you're thinking about selling your house on your own. We'll talk about a way to get it for sale by owner to convert, and all these things work. So make that part of your plan. Instagram. Anybody ever see the movie, The Internship? They would have called it Exchangeogram. It's a picture thing. Do you ever see that movie? It's a classic movie. It's Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And hey, it's an Exchangeogram moment. But because it's all about pictures. So post things with pictures, events, news, and more. You go someplace, you get a great meal, take a picture of it. pop it down and tag that restaurant. Link your Instagram post to your Facebook page and group. You can, if you know how to use Business Manager, and I can teach you this any Tuesday, if you want hands-on training, if you don't know how to do this already, you link your Instagram, your Facebook page, and your Facebook group or groups. You can do up to 3 groups. You can post one thing at a time. You can plan out for 28 days and it'll shoot to all those places, all in one thing. X, you can post, you used to be able to, I don't know if you can anymore because now there's different ownership and whatever, like X was bought out by Elon Musk. But you used to be able to post through Instagram to X. But X is another one. You can put stuff on X. I have not seen a lot of, I've really never met a realtor that tells me, oh, I'm making $100,000, $200,000 a year using X. But it's good to have a presence there.
Right.
Just like I would say, I have a presence on LinkedIn because somebody's going to want to see, a professional person's going to want to see that's where you are. Like I have friends that's the only place I find them. Most of them are lawyers and business people and whatever else. Like I got a friend that he's a corporate headhunter in New York City. He's got a Facebook account. The last picture he has on his Facebook account was a picture with me and a couple of other our friends in like 2006. He doesn't use it, but he's on Instagram all day long because he's finding people to headhunt. So those types of people, if they pick a realtor, are going to expect you to have a profile. And we talked about this before, but I'm saying this again. You don't have to be that active on LinkedIn, but you do have to have a presence and make it look professional. Here's X. Use your X account to mirror your content from Instagram and Facebook. Follow all accounts that are local. This is an important thing because this will help you build relationships with other business owners. Use the @ to reply to their posts, whatever their @ is. But my ad is at Gulf Palm Homes. And get a conversation going. It'll help you attract more followers. The way to get followers on X, we can do a whole thing on this if anybody's interested, is to respond to other people on X. Right. Posting does not get you, advertising does not get you followers. Replying to other accounts that have a lot of followers get you followers. And it's really the best way to do it. Hashtags. Use hashtags. They're a powerful way to drive more people to see your post. Use hashtags that identify your farm. For example, hashtag Tampa Bay. Use hashtags that identify your brand. Tampa Bay's Guru, C21 Integra, Relentless. And use hashtags that are trending. Now, I wrote this back in the day where you could put hashtag Britney Spears or whoever else was popular back when we were in those days, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you try to play those games, Google will actually push you back. So especially if you do that in a blog post, Google will actually deprioritize your post. So it has to be somewhat relevant to what you're talking about. Create a 12-month farming plan. This is a breakout session we'll do it next Tuesday because I'll teach you again on this and so you can get a little more practical. But I want you to start thinking about one activity a month you're going to do, how you're going to reinforce it with both the traditional and digital initiative, and announce and share your latest mailings on your, because you want to announce and share your latest mailings on your social media platforms. I want you to be consistent. Your branding needs to be consistent. We talked about this in another class too. Century 21, if you guys are a Coldwell Banker, you don't have this problem, but Century 21, we have 2 color schemes. We have a dark scheme and we have a light scheme. Pick your scheme. It doesn't matter which one, but don't go bouncing back and forth. It'll confuse your viewers. Be consistent. And ensure that the branding always reinforces the marketing wheel. Do I have it? There it is. This horrible graphic that I made some years ago. But you see, this is what we call reinforced marketing. What does that mean? If you see an ad for a brand, right, and that brand is doing their job right, where are you going to see it? You might see a television ad. You might hear a radio ad. You're going to see a website banner. You may get a direct mail. You may see it in a newspaper. You may see it in a magazine, and you should see it in all these places. Why are they advertising in all these different places? Especially how expensive it is. So it's hitting you, right, searing it into your mind. And that's what you want to do. And that's what this reinforced marketing Everything should be working together. So if you create this ad over here about this and that ad over there about that, it's not working together. Make the message the same, the branding the same, the pictures the same, everything the same, so it works together. Oh yeah, that's the guy that called me. I got his mailer. Oh, here he is on social media. And it's the same message. Here's a sample 12-month plan, which I'll also give you. Just shows you different things you can do. An intro letter, a social media page invitation, marketing report and community newsletter, community yard sale, just sold door hangers or mailers, an invitation to a 4th of July barbecue, having the barbecue, social media page invitations again, market report again, community yard sale, just listed, just sold door hangers or mailers, and then holidays, recipes, calendars, whatever it's going to be. That's an easy plan that you can do on all platforms. One thing before I go real quick, some of this stuff you're like, well, this is all traditional. Yeah, it is. But imagine this with let's just use holiday recipes. This came out of holiday season a couple months ago, right? You're not going to put the holiday recipe thing in a Facebook post. Oh, wait. No, yes, you are. Hey, if you didn't get a copy, if you didn't get a magnet with my holiday recipe or with my whatever, blah, 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 get in touch with me. I'd love to send one to you because you're always going to get some extras. And that way it's reinforcing again for the person that did get it. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's this guy or that, that's this realtor. Questions, comments, anything else?
All the recipes, because I remember for the Christmas party we had, I was looking at recipes.
Yep.